You ever get that feeling? Like you're stuck in design purgatory, sending files back and forth, feedback going everywhere, and brand consistency out the window.
Yeah, I know that feeling. It's a real struggle, especially with so many teams working remotely now.
It is. So, get this. Canva's come out with something called Dreamlab. Sounds like it's designed to solve all those problems. We're going to take a deep dive into Dreamlab today, see what it's all about, how people are using it, even look at some user feedback. By the end, you'll know if it's something you should be trying out for yourself.
From what I've seen, Canva's really onto something. They realized the old way of doing design just doesn't work anymore. Not in this collaborative world we live in. They've basically made Dreamlab like Google Docs, but for design.
Google Docs, but for design. What does that even mean? Like, how does that work?
Okay, imagine you're working on a marketing campaign, right? Instead of emailing files and getting lost in all those versions, your whole team can be in the same Dreamlab document, seeing each other's edits live, making comments, giving feedback, all in real time.
Whoa, hold on. Real-time collaboration. Like, we're talking cutting down on those approval times, right?
Big time. Canva's own numbers show teams using Dreamlab for real-time stuff have cut approval times by like 50%.
50%. No more Final John's edits files all over my desktop.
Yeah.
But okay, real-time collaboration, that's great. Is that all Dreamlab is about? Or is there more to it?
Oh, there's so much more. It's got a central library for all your brand assets, tons of templates you can customize, built-in approval workflows, so you can finally say goodbye to those email chains. And get this, they've even got AI-powered design tools.
AI design tools. Now you're talking. Tell me more. Tell me more.
Think about those tasks that take forever, removing a background from an image or making an image really pop. Dreamlab's AI tools can do that in seconds.
Seriously?
Seriously. They even have an AI that helps you with copywriting, like gives you suggestions. It's like having a design assistant right there in the software. Perfect if you're not a design expert.
I am so impressed. So we've got real-time collaboration, the brand assets thing, AI tools. You mentioned customizable templates and approval workflows. Tell me about those.
Oh, right. Yeah. So Canva already had this huge library of templates, but they made them even better in Dreamlab. You can take any template and tweak it, make it fit your brand perfectly. No more settling for something that's almost right. And the approval workflows, they're built right in. Share designs, get feedback, final approval, all without leaving Dreamlab.
Wait, so you're telling me I can finally ditch those email threads?
You got it.
I'm sold. Okay, but how are people actually using Dreamlab? Like, in the real world?
Well, the stuff you sent me has some great examples. Marketing teams are using it for everything. Social media posts, even full campaign assets. And they stay on brand, which is huge. Internal communications teams are using it for presentations, reports, even training materials, keep everything consistent. And product launch teams. They're using it to make sure their marketing is cohesive and looks amazing. You know, website banners, brochures, everything. Basically, if you're creating any kind of visual stuff and you need to work with other people, Dreamlab can help.
Sounds like Dreamlab could be a total game changer. Anyone who creates designs, collaborates, needs to keep their branding consistent.
Could be revolutionary, yeah. But let's hear what people are actually saying about it. You know, real users. We've got some feedback here. Might give you a better idea.
Okay, let's hear it. What are people saying? Good, bad, the ugly?
Honestly, it's been mostly positive. People are really excited about how much faster projects are getting done, which, with the real-time stuff, makes sense.
No more waiting weeks for feedback. I can get behind that. But come on, there's got to be some downsides, right? There's always a learning curve with new software.
Yeah, a few people have mentioned that. A bit of a learning curve, especially for folks used to traditional design software. It's a different way of thinking, so it takes some adjusting. But once people figure it out, they seem to love it. The interface, the efficiency, the whole package.
Yeah, any new tool takes some getting used to. Speaking of which, we had a couple of specific questions come in. First one, is Dreamlab good for small businesses? Like ones without much design experience?
That's a good question, and it comes up a lot. Dreamlab is designed to be user-friendly. Even if you don't have a design background, you've got the templates, you can customize your branding, and the layout is intuitive.
Oh, right, and the AI tools too. That can help a lot if you're not, like, a design whiz.
Exactly. The AI features are a game changer, especially for smaller businesses or if you don't have a dedicated designer. Like having an expert on call all the time.
Okay, second question. Analytics. Someone was wondering if Dreamlab lets you track how your designs are doing.
That's a great question, too. It doesn't have like super in-depth analytics yet, but you can track engagement on the designs you share. So you can see what's working, what's resonating with people, get some insights.
Okay, not full analytics, but you can still see how things are performing. That's good to know.
Definitely helps you figure out what's working.
So we've covered a lot, but before we move on, any expert tips for our listeners who might be thinking about trying Dreamlab?
For sure. First thing, get your brand assets organized. Like right away. Set up your brand kit in Dreamlab with your logos, colors, fonts, all that good stuff.
Makes sense. Having everything in one place from the start will save a ton of time.
Totally. And embrace the real-time collaboration features, like schedule a design session where everyone's online together, editing, giving feedback, the works. You'll be surprised how fast you can get stuff done.
Instead of going back and forth for days, you could get a design finalized in a single session.
Exactly.
Amazing. Okay, what else?
Don't be afraid to use those templates. Canva has a fantastic library, and remember, you can customize them in Dreamlab. Huge time saver. Plus, it gives you a good starting point.
It's like a head start from a professional designer.
Yeah.
Then you can make it your own. What about the AI tools? Any tips for using those effectively?
Absolutely. Experiment, play around, see what the background removal tool can do, try the image enhancement. Don't be afraid to see what the AI suggests for your copywriting. You might be surprised. It can really level up your designs. It can really help. Makes design accessible for everyone.
Love that.
Yeah.
Okay, after hearing all this, are you convinced? Is Dreamlab something you'd want to try? Imagine cutting your design time in half and getting better results. Could Dreamlab be the key? We'll put some links in the show notes so you can check it out.
It's powerful for sure. Lots of potential there. Anyone who works with design, really. Pros, beginners, everyone could get something out of it.
Totally agree. Even if you're not a designer yourself,
Yeah.
but you work with them or, are involved in the design process somehow, I think it's worth a look.
Absolutely. The collaboration stuff alone, it could change how teams think about design. And it's all right there in Canva. That makes it even better.
Canva has built this amazing suite of tools for all things creative. Dreamlab feels like the next step, They took everything great about Canva and added this whole new level. Collaboration, AI, it's awesome.
Pushing the boundaries for sure. What's possible with design software. I'm excited to see where it goes, what new features they come up with.
Me too. I
Yeah.
think we're going to be hearing a lot more about Dreamlab. It's definitely one to watch. Before we go too far, I want to go back to something you said earlier about the impact of Dreamlab on the design industry.
Yeah, that's worth thinking about. Tools like Dreamlab, they're getting more and more sophisticated and more accessible. It really makes you wonder, what's next for design? Will we see more automation? How will the role of the, traditional graphic designer change? It's something to consider.
It is. It's a bit of a double-edged sword. You've got these tools that let anyone create professional-looking stuff. But then there's that potential for disruption as these tools become more, mainstream.
Classic example, right? How technology changes things. Like with any tech, there will be winners and, well, those who don't adapt. But overall, I think it's a positive thing.
I think so, too. It's exciting to see design become more, democratic, opening up opportunities for people who maybe didn't have them before. I think it also pushes designers to be more innovative, to focus on the things AI can't do.
Exactly. It's all about finding that balance between human creativity and the tech.
That sweet spot.
Yeah, that's it.
It's a great time to be involved in design. Tools like Dreamlab are leading the way.
For sure, they're pushing boundaries,
Yeah.
making us rethink what's possible.
Okay, so I think we've given you a lot to chew on today. I know I'm intrigued by Dreamlab, can't wait to see how it evolves. But before we wrap up, one last question, a thought-provoking one.
Hit me. Always love a good question.
So we talked about how Dreamlab can save time, improve collaboration, make design more accessible. But what about the creative process itself? Do you think a tool like this, could it stifle creativity or lead to like a generic look, especially for someone like you using it for all sorts of different projects?
That's a good question. And it's tough to answer. I think there's definitely a risk of falling into a rut or ending up with designs that all look the same when you rely heavily on templates, on AI.
It's like that saying, if your only tool is a hammer, every problem looks like a nail. If you're just using a template generator, you might start to see every design as a template problem. And I could see how that would be a concern for you using Dreamlab across so many projects.
You're right. But I also think there's a huge opportunity to use these tools to actually boost creativity, not limit it. It's all about using tech as a starting point for inspiration. but then pushing further, bringing your own vision, your ideas.
So using the tools as like a springboard, not letting them dictate the final design.
That's it. I think the best designers will be the ones who figure out how to balance the tech with their own style.
Master the balance.
Exactly.
It's exciting. And it'll be interesting to see how designers rise to the challenge. I think this is a good place to pause for now. We've covered a lot. Don't want to overload you.
Lots to take in, yeah.
We'll pick it back up in part 3. Explore some of the bigger implications of AI. Look at some real-world examples of how designers are using these tools to create really innovative stuff. All right, welcome back to the deep dive. We're going to wrap things up here with part 3.
Been a great deep dive, hasn't it? Exploring Dreamlab, all the features.
It has. We talked about how it works, the good, the bad, even heard from some real users. But now I want to get, one more philosophical.
I was hoping you'd say that. I love thinking about the big picture, especially when it comes to tech and creativity.
Right. So the bigger picture, we talked earlier about how AI design tools could change like the whole industry. But it's bigger than that, isn't it? How are these tools changing how we think about creativity itself?
Ooh, that's a big one. And the answer, it's not simple. On the one hand, these tools are making creativity accessible to more people. People who might not have thought they were creative before. They don't need years of training, or expensive degrees to make something beautiful, something powerful.
It's like saying, hey, you can be creative too. Everyone can.
Exactly. But it also makes us think, what is creativity really? If a computer can create an amazing design in seconds, does that make human creativity less valuable?
That's the question, right? It all comes down to how we see these tools. Are they a threat? Or are they like a new set of tools that can make us even more creative?
For me, I see them as a partner, a collaborator in the creative process. AI can handle the technical stuff. And we humans, we can focus on the ideas, the strategy, the emotions, stuff AI can't do.
Like having a super efficient assistant. Takes care of the boring stuff so you can focus on the big picture.
You got it. And the best designers, the ones who will really succeed, they're going to be the ones who can work with AI, use its strengths, but also bring their own, human perspective.
It's a dance, right?
Yeah.
Between human and machine.
It is. And it's just getting started. As AI gets better, who knows what's next? It's a wild time to be in design.
Speaking of wild, I saw some amazing examples. Designers using AI to do crazy innovative stuff. Architects using AI to design sustainable buildings, super energy efficient.
I've seen that too. In other fields too. Fashion designers, they're using AI to make custom clothes based on your measurements, your style.
So it's not just about making things pretty, it's about solving problems, pushing boundaries.
It is. AI is becoming a tool for innovation everywhere. We're just scratching the surface.
Mind-blowing. But important to remember, AI is still a tool. It's up to us to use it ethically, creatively.
Couldn't agree more. We got to be aware of the downsides. Don't want a world where algorithms design everything and human creativity is gone.
We lose that spark.
Exactly.
Finding that balance, human and machine, that's the key.
The journey, I'm excited to see where it leads.
Me too.
Yeah.
Okay, I think we've covered a lot today. About Dreamlab, the future of design, the good, the bad, the big questions.
It's been a good one. Always enjoy these deep dives. Got to stay on top of the trends right and think about the impact.
Absolutely. Hope you found it helpful, maybe even inspiring. If you want to learn more about Dreamlab, try it out. We've got some links in the show notes.
And don't forget to connect with us. Let us know what you think on social media.
That's it for our deep dive into Canva Dreamlab. Keep exploring, keep creating, and keep pushing those boundaries.